Thank you very much for that introduction. I am truly honored and blessed to stand in front of you here, and I want to say thank you very much for the Cleantech competition and forum for allowing me this opportunity. Today I want to speak to you about three things. One's a little bit my personal journey in getting here. You heard a lot, and there's a little bit of a backstory to that. The second is about our company that we're driving, that is using waste to make a very, very exciting product. And then the third one is about the Cleantech Global, competition, which is something that's ongoing at the moment. Entries close by the 26th of April, so that's next week, Wednesday, which is something that is hugely valuable and something I'd encourage all of you to do. So a little bit about my own background first. We heard earlier today that there's something about your roots and where you come from. So my mother was a teacher, my father was a soldier, and between the two of them, as much as I've got to admit that there's something like white privilege, I didn't have funds to go and study. So I worked quite hard, and I managed to land myself a bursary from the University of Pretoria to study a BSc. So I went and said, okay, what's the most business-like, sciencey thing that you can study? And they said, oh, actuarial. I said, fine. Okay, I started that, and if people know about actuarial, that's people that love mathematics, that works out the odds of people dying, and when I did that, it's just not the thing for me. So I said, okay, fine. Not interested in that, let me look what else can I do. But because I didn't have funding, the BSc said, well, the Tikkie said, as long as you study a BSc, we'll pay for your tuition. So I went and said, okay, if I added a BCom to this, will you still pay? And they said, well, that's what the contract said. So that's what I did. So I combined those two, and I did my actuarial and I did my business management at the same time so that I can get my studies paid. And that landed me at McKinsey, which allowed me to study at INSEAD, which is either the first or the second most prestigious business school in the world, hands down. You can check any rating. Why am I sharing this with you today? None of that experience and that history prepared me to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs have a passion, have a spark, have a flavor and a drive that training can't give you at all. And that's why you guys are here. At INSEAD, I quickly want to tell a short story. There was a gentleman that was a friend of mine in one of our working groups. His name was Seng Chong. Seng Chong, for as much respect as I've got for him, wasn't very bright. In all of the classes, he was the one that was at the bottom and that you helped along. Seng Chong came from Malaysia, and we went through our first 2 semesters, and in the third, we could now choose things. I chose advanced finance. Why? Because I wear spectacles. Who's in my class? Seng Chong. Now ask him, Esti, for as much as I appreciate our friendship and respect you, you know you can't hack advanced finance. Why are you here? And he told me the most valuable lesson of my entire MBA curriculum. He said, Martin, I can't do most of the things here, but I chose advanced finance because one day when I've built my company, I need to know who's the best so I can employ that person. Okay. So that is what an entrepreneur does. So I'm not really an entrepreneur, I'm the kind of guy that entrepreneurs employ to run their companies for them. And in the process, I'm halfway playing in the middle. So, let me tell you about Thevia. Thevia is a company that takes waste material and we make roof tiles. Now, that doesn't sound particularly exciting, but I'll get to that for you in a little bit. When I look at the world, I wish it was as pretty and as beautiful as what BBC's Planet Earth says. But what I see is people's waste and wasted people. In fact, as South Africans, we produce 400 million tons of solid waste a year. 315 million tons of that is mining waste. 1.2 million tons of that is plastic waste, of which 78% is still going into landfill. That's enough solid waste to rebuild the Great Pyramid of Giza 75 times. That's what we're heating up every day. Now, we also produce 120 million concrete roof tiles every year to put onto our homes. But of that, 5 million break in transit because they're brittle, 7 million break in handling. So as consumers, we waste 100 million rand a year paying for broken roof tiles. So at Thevia we asked, what if we can mix the waste to make stronger, lighter, green roof tiles that insulate 1,000 times better than corrugated iron? And we can. I'm not a particularly strong person, but what I'm carrying here is 3 tiles, so that'll be normally 15 kilograms. This weighs 4. They are interlocking, which means when you put them together, your roof becomes a single impregnable unit. They are twice as strong as normal concrete tiles. They don't break. You can throw them around. So now you're building your house, you drop them off the roof trusses because the builders we had, they're a little bit hasty because they're behind time. So that's what we did. So we made roof tiles that are really the way to go. That's what Thevia means. It's a combination between the via, which is the Latin for the road or the way. Now, this is all good and well, and I've got to give the design credit and the development credit for this for my partner Bill Bowman, who's unfortunately not here today. But this isn't where the story stopped. We had a great idea, but how do we take it forward from there? And that's where today I want to speak to you about the Global Cleantech Program. This is an innovation, it's a Cleantech accelerator, which has got the unique way of working that it's both a competition and it helps you form a community. So everybody's part of this that joins the program in the Cleantech space, but in some way we're not competing directly with each other because all of us want to get our businesses working. Now, the Cleantech program is part of why I gave you all my accolades. It's not because I want to brag, it's because I want to say how good this program is. It is an accelerator unlike any other out there, trust me, I know. It starts off with a 3 or a 4 day workshop which is hosted here in Gauteng, where they fly in global experts to help train you around what's all the parts that you need for your business to work, or your concept, or your idea, or your product. Then there's 10 weeks worth of webinars where they get global experts to share their knowledge and insight around a specific area which you need in your business. You do this over the course of 20 different webinars. From there, you've got a session around mock judging. The mock judging helps you to present in front of investors, to prepare you for getting capital, which is scarce. We've got great ideas. There's a lot of money, but how do we get these two to communicate together? That's what Cleantech does. Now, all this costs money, because if you're not in Gauteng, they actually fly you up, they house you around here. So Cleantech is sponsored by UNIDO and the Global Environmental Facility, and in South Africa with the Innovation Agency, which is the local partner. Now, I've already spoken through all those elements, but I want to emphasize the caliber of people that they've got in training you on this. If you commit to this, and if you go through the program to do your worksheets, of which there are 10, of which all of them are about 3,000 to 5,000 word essays, and which they're going to tell you, you need to go validate your business model. You need to go and check. Yes, of course, this is something that a customer wants. Have you spoken to a customer? Have you put it in front of him? Have you asked him how much he'll pay? Have you asked him how much he won't pay? They keep on pushing you to get into your customers' faces in that way. Now, the program, oh yes, that was us. They alluded to us having won last year, we were second runner-ups in the Cleantech competition in South Africa, went to the Global Forum, which was in California in February, and that lady over there, Yolandi Skuman, was the winner last year. She's doing fantastic stuff with water. She was second runner-up overall, and we were overall winners in the green building category. So, in the entire Cleantech training program, they pushed us, ask what is the pain, what's the problem, what's the thing that you're really going to solve for your customers? Because it's all wonderful. I come in South Africa and I say, well, this is a green roof tile. Most of the people around me is going to say, well, okay, how much does it cost? Can I put it on my roof? Is it cheap enough? It looks okay. They don't really care about green as much as I like it. They want to know, what's it going to touch in my pocket? So we got pushed to say, all right, if we need to make a business out of this wonderful green thing, what does it mean? So we went to go speak to people, everybody in the roofing industry, and we learned a couple of things about our product. We knew that because of the sizing, you need less tiles per square meter of roofing. We knew because of its composition, that is lighter, okay? But what does that allow people to do? Because it's lighter, you can put in less wood in your roof trusses, so your roof truss cost comes down. So you can move your roof trusses out further apart. So that means the guy that brings the roof trusses don't need to put as many onto his truck. The guy that brings the roof tiles can put 4 houses worth, average houses worth of tiles onto a truck instead of 1. The guys that are building this, normally they climb up a ladder with a box that's got 5 tiles on their head. That's 25 kilograms. That's at the limit of what health and safety will allow you to do. Imagine those, think about those laborers. I'm certain some of you have done roofing yourself. It's a hard thing to do, and now you're up there and the things are made to grip so they don't fit in easily, and now you need to position them. It's a nightmare. So there's a savings in terms of time of how our products slot and fit together because they interlock and you just screw them down. Overall, we went to go and compare our tile, which we aim at about 10 Rand 50, I'll tell you a little bit more about that, against the cheapest economy double Roman tile out there. Head to head, for the first time, a waste product can compete with a concrete thing that's been around for almost 2,000 years, Roman style, and we come out 10% cheaper on a total roof. Now, we are not in production yet. I'm probably the only entrepreneur, non-entrepreneur, startup, not producing company that you're going to listen to today, because we're still in the stage where we're finalizing our certification. We've got a pilot plant, it's in Bronkhorstspruit. We can make about 20,000 tiles a month, but we're unwilling to sell until we've got all our paperwork in hand. We don't want to, at any point, create an appearance of guys that's trying to go to market too quickly and that's trying to pull a fast one onto somebody. What's more is, what's our environmental impact? For every Thevia tile made, we save 1.9 kilograms of CO2. That comes from a concrete tile not made, that comes from the transport in savings in these tiles, and that comes from the way that we recycle the plastic. Every week, when we put up our full line, for which we still need help, we plan to reprocess 70 tons of crusher discard, 30 tons of recycled plastic. And at our current facility, we plan to put up 3. At that facility, we plan to put on 88 jobs, and this is a product that we believe is not just going to end here in South Africa. It is made to take over the world because it is a product that is light, that's strong, that's uniquely suited to any place that's got natural disasters, that's got earthquakes, tornadoes, winds, hail, or whatever you want to call it. So, at the end of all this, I'd say to you, Thevia is the way all roof tiles should be made. State-of-the-art, sophisticated, sustainable, superior, simply Thevia. But one last thing, sorry, before I end it. Coming back to the people and to what Seng Chong taught me. At the moment, we're a team of 3. This is something that is so much bigger than all of us. Yes, it's the design and engineering thinking of Bill. It's some of my strategy and fancy PowerPoint skills. It is Cleantech's training. But that's where we're at today. For us to take this thing to be a real global game changer, we need partners and we need support, because we now need to set up a full production line, and then it's not supposed to stop there. We need to set up a network where we've got people collecting and recycling the plastic waste, bringing all this so that we can upscale this to a product that's worth to change the world. And for that, I invite you to join me. Thank you.